Hello everybody, this is American Seagull Predictions and I'm back with a brand new video. Today we're talking about something a bit special. Well, this is kind of like a documentary, I guess you could call it. This is the rise and fall of the Democrats in the state of Iowa. Now, Iowa was always a farm state. However, it was usually more of a Democratic farm state. Not like Nebraska. Nebraska was a really conservative farming state, while Iowa, on the other hand, was more democratic and was just overall just a democratic state back then. However, I'm going to show you the rise of the Democrats in Iowa and the fall of the Democrats in Iowa. So let's begin. In 1980, as like any other Republican, back then I was a Republican stronghold, with Reagan winning it by 13 points over Jimmy Carter. Well, almost 13, but still a solid margin. But then, however, in 1984, Ronald Reagan did win it. However, due to this farming crisis, a Midwest farming crisis in the early 80s, meant that Mondale did flip back quite some counties back into the Democrat column. And the fact that Ronald Reagan overall improved way better than he did in 1980 showed that this state was going to be a Dem stronghold, or just a Dem leaning state. However, and then it got worse for Republicans. In 1988, Michael Dukakis destroyed George Bush, winning plenty of rural areas, as George H.W. Bush following Reagan wasn't really a good solution, and George H.W. Bush didn't really have a plan to fight off the farming crisis. So they voted for Michael Dukakis. This was actually is one of the only two states in the country that voted for Trump in 2020, along with West Virginia. The state this damn trend would continue for a while until 2004, and then it would go back into the Democrats once again. Surprisingly, Iowa's the only other state where Bush flipped counties in 1992. He flipped back quite some counties in Iowa due to the farming crisis kind of just not really ending a ton. And I guess Bush kind of did solve it. However, George Bush's lies still couldn't really save him in the state. And Bill Clinton's moderate appeal to a lot of rural areas helped them win it, no problem. He won by around 6 points. Yeah. And then in 1996, Bill Clinton, with his moderacy, destroyed Bob Dole, winning almost all the rural counties. This is by far one of the worst performances for a Republican. Bob Dole is a weak candidate, but he kind of reminded me of that farming candidate that would do well in Iowa. But nope, he got blown out by Bill Clinton, only winning this northern area, which is this more north area, which has always been a Republican stronghold. This is the last election until a lot of these counties voted. This is the last election in which all these counties voted Democrat. And then in 2000, Bush lost it, making it the first time that Iowa voted for a losing candidate since 1988. However, this must have just been the decay from Bill Clinton, as Bill Clinton got some absurd margins in rural areas back in 1996. They didn't fully erode enough for Bush to make out a win. However, Bush still did well. He came really close, only losing by 4,000 votes. Not bad. 2004, Bush finally narrowly flipped it with an eked out a win. He won it narrowly by still less than a point. So yeah, this state, it's still kind of, so maybe after all, in 2004, maybe the state did show a trend voting Republican. However, then in 2008, due to the recession under Bush, and Obama being the first black president, that destroyed McCain's chances in Iowa. However, McCain still didn't do as bad as Bob Dole. However, in 2012, people thought Mitt Romney would maybe flip the state. However, he was more a suburban appeal, and I won't really say he's the best at rural appeal. So yeah, he still lost it. He did gain back a couple counties. However, Obama did flip one county, Woodbury County, which home to Sioux City, I think it's called. So yeah, that didn't really help him out. And then finally in 2016, with Trump's populism message, finally it flipped the state red. And in my opinion, the whole time it was just weird how all these rural counties were voting Democrat for a while. Trump finally said, "All right, it's enough playing around and stop voting Democrat. It's time for us to look normal and stop voting for these idiotic Democrats." And they finally did. In 2020, Trump did do a little bit worse, but still, no counties were flipped. And as you can see, this is what it looks like as of right now. I expect Republicans to keep on improving these rural areas and getting most of these rural counties out of the 50s into the 60s and even the 70s. And I expect this area to probably get better. There'll probably be more counties that'll get in the 80% for the Republicans. However, only time will tell. As of right now, Iowa isn't going anywhere. It's going to stay Republican. It's kind of like the Virginia of the Midwest, I guess you could call it. It used to be a more Democratic state, but then the tides have turned, and now it's a red state. Trump basically solidified both Iowa and Ohio into a red state. And yeah, I don't really see both those states coming back for a long, long time. Unless if we get establishment, then maybe both those states could be up for grabs for the Democrats. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. American Seagull out.